Alright, guys, so I had people asking for a Star Wars review. People keep asking me about what I can, what I think about it. So I'm going to preface this by saying a couple things, guys. First things first, obviously, very obviously, major spoilers. That's one. Second, guys, this is going to be stream of consciousness as always. Third, things will probably not be in any kind of particular order. So if you haven't seen the movie, watching this review won't really do much about it. Yeah, guys, that's about it. Let's get started. So, first thoughts is very simple. Why is Palpatine still alive? It's not even. And listen, guys, we're not going to talk about plot holes or anything like that. It's more of a question of like, why is he alive? There are plenty of serviceable plots in Star Wars, in the comics, in the books, and etc., where Palpatine is just a clone. Like, he's already dead, and his clones live on, and they're crazy, and they act the same way this guy did, without having to be Palpatine. There was really no reason for Palpatine to still be alive. There's plenty of stuff for other things. Why? And that's always a question. And then on top of that, you have him acting such a weird way. That is, again, same question of why is it just Palpatine? You know. Then you have J.J. Abrams, who's just retconning pretty much everything that Rian Johnson's story did in Star Wars 8, to the detriment of Star Wars 9, to be honest with you. It doesn't make 8 better, it doesn't make 9 better. That's a big problem with this movie. You know, let me start with one of the scenes that probably had the most fan fiction for it, and it's that, not fan service for it, which is, why is Chewie the only one who gets a medal? That's probably one of my biggest questions. Chewie gets a medal. Sure, Chewie deserved a medal for the original Star Wars. That's long gone. Why did they prepare only one medal for Chewie in general? And why would they have thought that why would Maz, of all people, have thought to prepare a medal specifically for Chewie? Are they best friends now? Did Chewie and Maz talk about it? Was Chewie really salty about not getting a medal? Did he bring it up to her? I don't know. That seems to be a big problem for me. It's fan service for sure, but why was this included in general? I don't know. A big problem a lot of people have been having with this movie, guys, is the power fluctuations among the characters. I actually don't care about that in general. That's actually not a big deal for me. In Star Wars, the Force is always trying to balance stuff out. It's always explained this way. When you have less Sith, you have more. Those Sith are more powerful. When you have less Jedi, those Jedi are always more powerful. It's always going to try and balance itself out. I'm not going to worry about the power fluctuations. It's not worth killing your brain cells over. You know. Then you have the whole Sith knife thing. You know, honestly, stupid. Who programmed C-3PO to not be able to read ancient Sith script? Why bother? Even if that was the case, that we're talking about Anakin Skywalker now, who programmed him. Do you really need a master hacker to overcome a child's operating system? Literally. We're talking about legit Anakin Skywalker at, 6 years old? Creating C-3PO? No one talks about him being reprogrammed at a point. Whatever. It is what it is. In the end, who cares? The knife was so useless anyways. Why include any of that stuff in this movie? You know. Then you have, and speaking of the knife, you have the question of, when you hold it up like this on the horizon in a very specific spot, what do you do if over time this spot is eroded away? At what point does your knife become useless because you're looking at it and seeing nothing? Forget, like, even if they were able to find the exact spot that easily, that's not the issue here. Time still is going to erode things. Humans are going to erode things, are going to move things. Sorry, guys. Why is this a thing that the knife can show you the way when landscapes change all the time? You know? Poe, the spice must flow. Well, that's fine. It's going to be a meme. If it's not, let's start now. Stupid. Let's just move on. Why can Luke Skywalker catch a lightsaber? Specifically as a Force Ghost. I mean, does that mean he can use his Force Ghost powers to wield a lightsaber in combat? If that's the case, that's a big problem. Because then why is he not helping out? This just makes Luke look like a giant arsehole who just doesn't want to help in general and is like, you deal with things your way. But then why come back and help in general? The idea that Luke Skywalker can actually control, lift out the lightsaber after he's dead actually doesn't bother me. Like, there are definitely going to be some Force powers that can transfer over to Force Ghosts when they die. That's not even an issue. But I mean, it would have been a much more powerful scene if it had been Luke directing Rey to lift the spaceship out of the water at his instructions. I don't know. Once again, Luke's dead. Why are we still focusing on Luke instead of Rey, the new generation? Whatever. It's just one more thing in the giant scheme of things, guys. Kylo Ren survives a spaceship crash on a planet. What? How? Why? The Force can't do everything, especially in this kind of situation. What would he have done in this regard? Like, silly. Anyways. You have Palpatine telling Rey that by killing him, you'll be joining the Sith, I'll take over your body, etc., etc. But that's one moment. 3 seconds later, after she doesn't kill him, he's no longer worried about getting killed by her to take over her body. Even before he becomes regenerated. What's the difference between one moment and the next moment? There's no explanation there. There's no reasoning behind it. I don't remember Rey ever being like angry or murderous about Palpatine. It really comes down to the idea that Jedi do kill people. They've killed people in the past. They'll kill people in the future. Why is Rey killing Palpatine a problem now when she's trying to protect people? You know, these are all the kind of things that like Star Wars Episode 9 just had that was just boring and silly and just weird. I'm not even done. This is like not even halfway done, I would imagine, guys. You know, you have Leia who's getting a burial or a funeral, basically, and her best friend, her very best friend, Butthole Eyes herself, Maz Kanata. Somehow in the last 2 years they became best friends, and she's the visual they went with for Leia. Or Leia's funeral at the very least, or her death. Why bother? Rey, like, Maz is not an important character. Why give her so much screen time? Why give her so much to do? Waste time. Horses? Really? Effing horses? Why bring horse on a ship? I mean, it's a cool visual. Stupid idea. Your spaceship turns a little bit. All of a sudden, those horses are going flying. You're done. Let's see. Let's see. Another problem that a lot of people are having with the movie in general is force healing. Force healing has existed for a long time. It exists in the expanded universe. It exists in the different places. It's not exclusive to Rey. It's not exclusive to Kylo. It's the bigger problem with the force healing is not even that it exists. It's that either the movie's going to forget about it and just bring it up once, or it's going to be so critical to the point to the movie that it's obvious anyways. So it's not a great inclusion just in terms of like this is beating over the head with something. Don't bother. Waste time. You know, then when it comes to like the end of the movie, you know, you have Rey claiming herself to be a Skywalker, whatever. It doesn't matter that she claimed that she's a Skywalker. That's not the issue. Of her taking the name specifically like that and like did Luke agree to this? No. This isn't fan fiction. Like, why are we writing fan fiction? Rey's a Palpatine. If you don't want to be Rey Palpatine, just be Rey. There are plenty of people in the Star Wars universe that have one name. There are plenty of people in our universe that have one name. It's not an issue just to be Rey. Why bother? Like, it's such a weird inclusion of like, oh, it's okay to be no one. It's okay to be some, but you're not no one. Like, not Jedis don't have to have a lineage. We see all the time about new Jedi lines emerging from people. Why does Rey have to be the exception? She could just be nobody. It was much more interesting when she was nobody, because then it's not about having a lineage, you know. And speaking of fan fiction, I guess J.J. Abrams read mine because, wow, dark Rey versus light Rey, very sexy. Just why, JJ? Why? You know. So look, guys, in the end, there's a few problems with this movie. You can see, like, a lot of stuff is, like, very much like, oh, it's nitpicking, and it's just, like, it's silly. A lot of it comes from, like, having the extended universe, and expanded universe looking a lot better. A lot of it comes from the fact that J.J. Abrams wanted to change things. So look, in the end, there's a few major problems with this movie. There was no stakes. There was 0 stakes at all in this movie. You see C-3PO gets memory wiped, and then he gets it back what, 2 scenes later in such an easy way that it was why even bring it up? Why even bother? You have Chewie who dies in a space crash, in a spacecraft that Rey and Kylo are fighting over because, of course, they were fighting over it instead of like Kylo going to attack her and just getting her to getting her to leave the ship alone. Like, these things, they have there's no stakes. Chewie's still alive at the end of the day. What if there are no stakes at all? Why should I worry and why should I emote over them? I don't have anything to share about that in that regard. Just because there's nothing there. It's empty. But I will say this, guys. It was definitely the best comedy of the year. I laughed so hard in that theater. So I guess I got my money's worth in that regard. That being said, that's not a good thing. This movie was pretty bad overall. And I'm a person who actually enjoyed Star Wars 7 and 8. I liked them. I thought they were pretty good. They weren't great, but they were good. I enjoyed them for what they were. This movie was not enjoyable in any sense except for a comedy. And that will wear off after, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through the film when you're saying what, why, how come, why is this important, why, basically, guys. That's all I have to really say. I'm sure, like, that's not even true. There's a lot more I can say. There's not really much more I need to say. Do I think you should see it? That's a tough call. It gives you some closure. It's not good closure, but it gives you some closure. If you like Star Wars, go and see it. Don't be surprised if you're not happy with it. I think they can do a lot better with Star Wars in general. I hope they do a lot better with Star Wars in general. Maybe a series, maybe a trilogy that doesn't involve the original characters. I don't even see them anymore. Maybe a series that actually has like a TV series that's not about just Mandalorians. Give me some more Jedi in this. I think you can do better. Like I said, and the biggest problem of all that is that there's no real story making going on right here. They have no one behind the scenes. They have no one making the stories and keeping things collected. Why not use what you already have, which is the expanded universe, which has plenty of stories in them and a lot of good ones. They already exist. Adapt them to the screen and make something that's worthwhile for the Star Wars fan. But that will never happen. Disney's not interested in that. What else can we do, man? That's it, guys.